Singapore is freezing the sale of all new tickets for Vaccinated Travel Lane flights and buses. This takes effect from tomorrow until January the 20th. The preemptive step comes as cases of the highly infectious Omicron variant surges across the world. Singapore has detected 65 Omicron cases from travellers so far. Now, those who already hold tickets for VTL flights into Singapore, well, they can continue to enter the country without quarantine. That is, if they meet all the VTL requirements. For instance, long and short-term pass holders must also have a valid vaccinated travel pass along with their ticket. When ticket sales resume from January the 21st, the cap will also be halved to just 5,000 each day. For the land VTL between Singapore and Malaysia, well, travellers who currently hold bus tickets can similarly still travel between both countries. Capacity will also be halved when ticket sales resume. Now, this means that up to 48 bus rides per day will take place in both directions. The Health Ministry urges all VTL travellers to follow the enhanced testing regime here in Singapore, and those who do not take the required test or submit their test results will be issued a stay-home notice. They could also face a fine or jail. Safety measures for Singapore's airport workers, that's also going to be stepped up. Frontline workers now have to take routine PCR tests. That's instead of antigen rapid tests. All workers interacting with passengers, even in public areas, must also wear enhanced personal protective equipment, which includes N95 masks and face shields. Transport Minister S.S. Warren says that these steps are essential to protect the health and safety of Singaporeans, aviation staff and travellers, and he's calling on everyone to focus on ramping up the vaccination and booster program against the new Omicron variant.
Confusion reigned among bus operators over the status of the land vaccinated travel lane between Singapore and Malaysia today, after Singapore abruptly froze the sales of bus tickets amid concerns over the Omicron variant. Things remain uncertain for some planning to cross the border at the end of January to reunite with their families ahead of the Chinese New Year. Gwyneth Teo with more.
Just past 12:30 p.m, bus operator Causeway Link announced on Facebook that it wouldn't be selling bus tickets with immediate effect, but it resumed sales slightly over 3 hours later. It was a snapshot of the confusion that took place after authorities said new ticket sales would stop from the 23rd of December to 20th of January.
There was some confusion saying that tickets are still possible to sell until end of the day, before midnight. So after clarifying, the Malaysian authorities have allowed us to continue opening up to the public until the end of the day.
But their woes aren't ending there. Although ticket quotas are being slashed in half when sales resume, Causeway Link says it's already sold out their tickets to Johor Bahru for the second half of January, potentially stranding nearly 6,000 passengers.
We are still seeking for some further updates or maybe whether there's any possibility to allow those passengers to still continue, right? If you cut to half, I don't know who I should be telling them to cancel their trips, right? Because they already have purchased the tickets. It's a bit tough.
Until the situation becomes clearer, Causeway Link won't be opening any new dates for sale. That also means those who have booked one-way trips to Malaysia may have problems returning to Singapore soon. They may turn to Transtar, who has thus far only sold tickets up to 20th of January. The company now expects demand to be even higher from the 21st of January ahead of Chinese New Year, a peak period for travel across the border. The two bus companies had already hired more drivers and staff, expecting the VTL would be further expanded in the new year. They now have to work out how to manage the additional burden in the weeks ahead.
Some travel agencies say that there's been no rush to get in flight bookings before the 11:59 p.m. deadline tonight. The ticket sales suspension, as well as the Omicron variant, might have many thinking twice about travelling overseas now. Still, those who've already bought their tickets seem to be going ahead with their plans. Heidi Ng with more.
Despite the freeze on VTL ticket sales into Singapore for the next 4 weeks, at least 3 travel agencies says they've not seen any cancellations just yet. One even had a family book a trip overseas during the suspension period. EU Holidays had to rope in more staff to help facilitate last-minute bookings. These were for about 30 clients who had already paid for their tours in countries like Spain and Switzerland, but had yet to book their flights. Although it offers tour packages to 12 of the 24 VTL countries, it still expects to be hit by the latest curbs.
We are unable to increase the group size. Yeah, so this is one, and we are also unable to form new groups within this period to travel to other countries. So this would actually cost me in a loss of around $100,000 worth of sales.
Online travel agency Expedia says it saw strong interest in bookings for places like Kuala Lumpur and Australia this month, but this could soon change.
There's still that sense of nervousness in the air. I think, there's a risk-benefit calculation to this. And so those individuals looking to travel are keeping their family and loved ones in mind, especially those who have young children. That's the hardest decision to make.
Another travel agency had the foresight of stopping its sale of VTL tours earlier this month, shortly after news broke of the rapidly spreading Omicron variant. SA Travel says it will adopt a wait-and-see approach for now and hopes to relaunch its tours in March. At least one airline is also cancelling flights. AirAsia says it will continue to operate VTL flights from Kuala Lumpur, but it will cancel VTL flights from Bangkok until further notice.